Bridge Solutions, comparing costs in Turkey and Europe. The construction business has exploded across Turkey as well as Europe. In turn, the need for bridge solutions is increasing substantially. When trying to compare the prices of bridges within Turkey and Europe, there are many things to think about. In this clip, we'll go over the many cost considerations when it comes to bridges within Turkey as well as Europe. Cost of labor. One of the major aspects that influence the cost of bridges in Turkey as well as Europe is the expense of labor. In Turkey, it is the case that labor costs are usually lower than Europe. This is mostly due to the different wages for minimum wage as well as the overall costs of living. In the end, the labor-intensive work like pouring concrete, steel reinforcement as well as formwork are less expensive in Turkey. In contrast, it is true that labor costs in Europe is higher because of the stricter laws and regulations regarding labor. Therefore, labor-intensive jobs tend to be more costly in Europe when compared with Turkey. It's important to keep in mind that skilled workers are an aspect to be considered as well, in the sense of Europe generally having a higher trained workforce compared to Turkey. Material costs. Another major cost factor for bridge solutions both in Turkey as well as Europe is the expense of building materials. In Turkey, there is a lower cost for elements like steel, concrete, and formwork tends to be lower when compared with Europe. This is due to differences between import taxes and duties in addition to general production costs. In Europe, cost of material is typically higher due to more stringent guidelines and higher quality standards. It means that products including high-quality concrete and steel generally will cost more in Europe as compared to Turkey. It's important to understand that the grade of elements used for bridge construction could have an enormous effect on the overall price as well as the lifespan of the construction. Regulatory costs. For bridge solutions that are available in Turkey and Europe, regulations play major roles in determining overall costs. In Turkey, regulations are generally lower than Europe. This is mainly because of more relaxed regulations and permits procedures. This means that obtaining required permits and approvals to build bridges tends to be quicker and less expensive in Turkey. In Europe, regulations increase due to the stricter laws and permits. It is a result that getting permits and approvals to bridge construction can take time and be an expensive procedure within Europe. It is essential to take into regulatory costs when looking at the cost for bridge options across Turkey as well as Europe. Maintenance costs. The cost of maintenance is another crucial element to be considered when looking at bridge alternatives within Turkey as well as Europe. In Turkey, the cost of maintenance is usually lower than Europe. This is in large part due to the different weather and the environmental conditions. This means that bridges situated in Turkey need less frequent maintenance as compared to bridges that are located in Europe. In Europe, maintenance costs in Europe are greater due to more severe temperatures and more stringent maintenance guidelines. The result is that bridges that are located in Europe have greater frequency and cost-effective maintenance than bridges that are located in Turkey. Consider maintenance costs when you evaluate the cost overall of bridge solutions both in Turkey as well as Europe. Bridge solutions costs in Turkey as well as Europe differ significantly based upon a myriad of variables, such as prices for labor, material costs, regulations, costs for construction, and maintenance expenses. While the cost of labor is generally cheaper in Turkey, but material expenses along with regulatory expenses as well as maintenance costs may increase in Europe. You must carefully consider these factors while planning budgets for bridge projects both within Turkey as well as Europe. In this way, you will be able to ensure your bridge project is economical and reliable for the long haul.